Everyone talks about how living by the beach is just a fantasy for millionaires. But what if I told you that in 2026, you can still snag a home on the water for less than the price of a beat-up condo in Miami? That's right. While the housing market is wobbling, there are still hidden pockets of America where the sand is warm, the sunsets are free, and the median home price looks like a typo. Today, we're counting down 12 of the most affordable beach towns in the U.S., from Mississippi's Gulf Coast to the Pacific Northwest. Some are tourist hotspots, others are sleepy little communities you've never heard of, but all of them let you live the beach life without going broke. Pascagoula, Mississippi. Pascagoula, the reigning champ of affordable beach towns in America. Median home price, about $165,000. That's less than what some people spend on a Tesla. This Gulf Coast city of 22,000 has a 3 centuries-long history. Pirates, presidents, and even Jimmy Buffett called this place home. In fact, the main public beach is named Buffett Beach. And honestly, sipping a margarita here beats fighting tourists in Miami any day. Pascagoula isn't just cheap sand and salt water. It's got real economic muscle thanks to Chevron and Ingalls Shipbuilding, and two major employers that keep the job market alive. Downtown has seen a revival, with walkable shops, historic oaks rivaling Savannah, and a food scene that swings from seafood shacks to barbecue joints. For outdoorsy types, you've got Petit Bois Island, a federally protected wilderness, plus golf at the Pascagoula Country Club. And history buffs, the La Pointe Krebs House has been standing since the early 1700s, older than the United States itself. Bottom line, if you want a legit Gulf Coast lifestyle at a bargain price, Pascagoula is the beach town where you don't just dip your toes, you plant your roots. Deerfield Beach, Florida. Think you can't afford South Florida? Meet Deerfield Beach, the underdog sitting just north of Fort Lauderdale with a median home price around $285,000. That's right. In Broward County, where condos in Miami sell for millions, you can still snag a place here for the cost of a new pickup truck. This city of about 87,000 blends coastal charm with everyday convenience. You've got coffee shops, green parks, and a solid mix of retirees and young professionals. But the star attraction is the Blue Wave Beach, a clean, award-winning stretch of Atlantic shore that puts some pricier neighbors to shame. Add in the nearly 1,000-foot-long fishing pier and one of the nation's longest cable ski courses, and suddenly Deerfield looks like the playground you didn't know you could afford. Culture buffs? There's the historic Butler House, the Deerfield Beach Historical Society Museum, and even the Florida Renaissance Festival if you want a turkey leg while pretending it's the 1500s. Here's the kicker. You're still in the heart of South Florida, without the financial gut punch of Miami or Boca Raton. If you want Atlantic waves and a real community vibe at bargain bin prices, Deerfield Beach is your ticket. Gulfport, Mississippi. Forget Atlantic City. If you want casinos, beaches, and affordability without the baggage, Gulfport, Mississippi is your better bet. With a median home price in the low $220,000, this is the Gulf Coast big city option that still feels like a small town. Gulfport is the second largest city in Mississippi, but don't expect skyscrapers and traffic jams. Instead, you'll find miles of rebuilt sandy beaches, thanks Katrina recovery efforts, a working port that keeps the economy moving, and just enough entertainment to keep both tourists and locals happy. Yes, there are casinos here, but unlike Atlantic City, Gulfport mixes that with a more family-friendly vibe. Think Ship Island ferry rides, Gulf Islands water park, and local seafood festivals instead of boarded-up boardwalk shops. The job market is anchored by shipping, the port, and nearby military bases, which means this isn't a one-trick tourist town. Pair that with a cost of living well below the national average, and Gulfport starts looking less like a gamble and more like a smart play. Bottom line, Gulfport is the affordable coastal city that Atlantic City wishes it could be. More charm, more stability, and yes, still plenty of ways to lose a 20 at the slots. Port Richey, Florida. If Miami feels like chaos and Clearwater feels overpriced, Port Richey is where you slow life down without emptying your wallet. Sitting in Pasco County, north of Tampa Bay, this tiny coastal town has just 3,500 residents and a median home price around $239,000, practically unheard of for Florida beachfront living. The selling point? Affordability. Property taxes here are lower than in surrounding counties, and the cost of living is noticeably easier on your wallet compared to other Gulf Coast hotspots. That means retirees, snowbirds, and anyone tired of paying South Florida prices are starting to take notice. What do you get in Port Richey besides savings? A laid-back, tight-knit community with plenty of outdoor perks. You've got access to Gulf fishing, boating, and kayaking. Werner Boyce Salt Springs State Park offers trails, manatees, and pristine views of Florida's natural coastline. And unlike Miami, you won't be sitting in traffic for hours just to get to the beach. Here, you're already living it. Bottom line, Port Richey doesn't try to compete with Florida's flashy destinations. It's small, quiet, and affordable. Exactly the kind of place people dream of retiring to, but without the million-dollar price tag. Port Lavaca, Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas except the home prices in Port Lavaca. Sitting near the midpoint of the 275-mile Texas Gulf Coast, this small town of about 11,000 residents has a median home price of roughly $115,000. For a waterfront lifestyle, that's almost a steal. Port Lavaca isn't trying to be Miami or even Corpus Christi. It's quieter, slower, and maybe that's the point. Locals enjoy Magnolia Beach, a rare natural sandy stretch on the Gulf, along with Bayfront Peninsula Park, where sunsets turn into a nightly show. Birdwatchers flock here too, literally, since Port Lavaca sits on a migratory flyway that attracts more than 400 species. So if you've ever wanted to live somewhere your neighbors are just as likely to be herons as humans, this is it. History buffs get their fix as well with the Calhoun County Museum, the LaSalle Monument, and the quirky Half Moon Reef Lighthouse. And unlike busier Texas beach cities, Port Lavaca still feels unspoiled, more like a hidden coastal retreat than a tourist hub. Bottom line, Port Lavaca is the antidote to modern chaos. Affordable, peaceful, and scenic. It's Texas beach living without the Texas-sized bill. Bottom line, Port Richey doesn't try to compete with Florida's flashy destinations. It's small, quiet, and affordable. Exactly the kind of place people dream of retiring to, but without the million-dollar price tag. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. If you want beach life with a side of neon lights and endless mini golf courses, welcome to Myrtle Beach. With a median home price around $345,000, this city isn't dirt cheap anymore. But compared to South Florida or California coastlines, it's still a steal for what you get. Myrtle Beach is the beating heart of the Grand Strand, a 60-mile run of Atlantic shoreline where the beach is the star but never the only show. You've got the boardwalk stacked with seafood joints and tourist traps, the Family Kingdom amusement park, and the Skywheel, a 187-foot Ferris wheel that lights up the night sky. Touristy? Absolutely. But that also makes it a rental powerhouse. Condos here churn out income thanks to the steady flow of vacationers. For golfers, it's paradise. More than 80 golf courses surround the city, including Jack Nicklaus designs and nationally ranked fairways. Add in attractions like Ripley's Aquarium, outlet shopping, and live entertainment. And you've basically got year-round fun packed into one city. Bottom line, Myrtle Beach isn't the cheapest town on this list, but if you want nonstop action and strong rental potential at half the price of Miami, it's hard to beat. Ocean Springs, Mississippi. If Pascagoula is the industrial workhorse of Mississippi's coast, Ocean Springs is its artsy, laid-back cousin. With a median home price around $270,000, it's not the absolute cheapest on the Gulf, but it delivers charm and culture that most small beach towns can't touch. Nicknamed the City of Discovery, Ocean Springs sits just east of Biloxi and is packed with art galleries, boutiques, and cozy restaurants. Walk down Washington Avenue, and you'll feel like you stumbled into a coastal town that somehow mixes New Orleans flavor with small-town Mississippi. It's home to the Walter Anderson Museum of Art and a thriving creative community that punches way above its population of 19,000. Nature lovers aren't left out either. The Gulf Islands National Seashore offers protected stretches of sand and pristine waters, while Fort Corpus State Park takes you back to 1699, when the French first settled here. Add in kayaking, fishing, and year-round festivals, and it's easy to see why this little city has a big reputation. Bottom line, Ocean Springs gives you a Gulf Coast lifestyle with a splash of creativity. It's not just affordable, It's one of the few beach towns where buying a home feels like buying into a community. Corpus Christi, Texas. Most towns on this list are small, but Corpus Christi flips the script. With more than 300,000 residents, it's the largest city here, and yet the median home price still hovers around $266,000. That's big city living on a small town budget, with the Gulf of Mexico right at your doorstep. Corpus Christi is all about the water. You've got 100 miles of beaches, including stretches of Padre Island National Seashore, the longest uninterrupted barrier island in the U.S. at 65 miles. Whether it's surfing, fishing, camping, or kayaking, outdoor options are endless. Mustang Island State Park adds another layer of natural beauty, making this one of Texas's premier coastal playgrounds. History buffs and families have their picks too. The USS Lexington, a World War II aircraft carrier turned museum, the Texas State Aquarium, and the Corpus Christi Museum of Science and History. Music lovers won't miss the Selena Museum, dedicated to the Tejano legend who called this city home. Bottom line, Corpus Christi is proof you don't have to choose between affordable housing and city amenities. It's not just a beach town, it's a full-fledged Gulf Coast city where $266,000 still buys you a slice of the shoreline. Surfside Beach, South Carolina. If Myrtle Beach feels like Vegas on the water, Surfside Beach is its quieter, family-friendly neighbor. Nicknamed the Family Beach, this cozy coastal town offers just 2 miles of pristine shoreline and a slower pace of life, all with a median home price around $400,000. With only about 4,000 residents, Surfside trades neon lights for neighborhood vibes. You'll still get easy ocean access, plus a popular fishing pier, multiple parks, and a small-town atmosphere that feels worlds away from the chaos of Myrtle. Families especially love it here, since it has that sweet spot balance between laid-back living and proximity to big attractions just a few miles north. The housing stock is a healthy mix of single-family homes and condos, making it a more approachable market for buyers who don't want the nonstop tourist churn of larger beach cities. And when you do crave action, Myrtle's golf courses, restaurants, and nightlife are right down the road. Bottom line, Surfside Beach gives you the Grand Strand lifestyle without the noise. It's affordable, calm, and, unlike its flashier cousin, it's a place where people actually move to stay. Long Beach, Washington. Welcome to Long Beach, Washington, a town of fewer than 2,000 people with one very big claim to fame, the world's longest continuous peninsula beach, stretching more than 28 miles. And while West Coast beach towns usually come with million-dollar price tags, the median home price here sits at about $345,000. Not dirt cheap, but a bargain compared to California's coast. Life in Long Beach is all about the outdoors. You've got hiking trails, bird-filled wetlands, and the Discovery Trail, which retraces the steps of Lewis and Clark. Kite lovers flock to the colorful World Kite Museum and the annual Kite Festival, while foodies head for fresh seafood and the region's famous cranberry farms. Kids and tourists can burn off energy at the Funland Family Fun Center. Because yes, even a tiny coastal town in the Pacific Northwest knows how to keep families entertained. The town is small, quirky, and undeniably scenic. If you're tired of overpriced, overcrowded Pacific beaches, Long Beach feels like a coastal time capsule where you can actually breathe. Bottom line, Long Beach is the Pacific Northwest's affordable answer to pricey beach living. Quieter, cheaper, and with a whole lot more sand. Ocean Shores, Washington. If Long Beach is known for endless sand, Ocean Shores is all about variety. With a median home price around $410,000, this Pacific Northwest town of about 8,000 residents offers not just beaches, but lakes, canals, and wildlife areas. Basically a natural playground wrapped into one. The geography here is unique. Ocean Shore sits between the Pacific Ocean and Grays Harbor, giving residents water access on both sides. That means options, surfing, kayaking, paddleboarding, clamming, or just long walks on the dunes. The Ocean City State Park and the Oyhoot Wildlife Recreation Area are magnets for birdwatchers. with migratory flocks filling the skies and snowy plovers nesting in the sand. Unlike the packed boardwalks of California, Ocean Shores feels calm and spread out. Downtown, you'll find quirky shops, seafood restaurants, and family-friendly festivals. The housing market leans towards single-family homes, many with direct water access or canal views, which explains why it's a favorite among retirees and second-home buyers. Bottom line, Ocean Shores is the affordable coastal retreat the Pacific Northwest doesn't advertise. It's quiet, scenic, and built for people who want the beach life, minus the California price tag. Ocean City, Maryland. On the East Coast, beach towns are usually wallet-busting, but Ocean City, Maryland manages to stay relatively affordable with a median home price around $455,000. Sure, that's higher than the Gulf or Carolinas, but for a prime Atlantic resort town with a national reputation, it's still a bargain compared to New Jersey or New York. Ocean City is a summer powerhouse. The year-round population is under 7,000, but come July, it swells to nearly 350,000 people, turning the place into Maryland's temporary second biggest city. The boardwalk is legendary, lined with arcades, food stands, and shops that smell like saltwater taffy. Add in Jolly Roger amusement park and Trimper's rides, and you've basically got an old-school carnival running on the sand. Housing here skews heavily toward condos, which make up nearly 90% of listings. That keeps entry prices more approachable for buyers looking for a vacation home or rental property. Outdoor lovers also get their fix with fishing, kayaking, and paddleboarding right on the bay or the open Atlantic. Bottom line, Ocean City isn't the cheapest on this list, but it delivers the full East Coast beach experience without New Jersey-level sticker shock. It's fun, busy, and built for summer.